Hi, everyone.
Hi, it's Ashley and Jen. We're excited to be here today. Today we're going to talk about fear and what that looks like, how it shows up, and the most important aspect of this conversation is how it can hold us back.
Okay, so I guess the biggest thing is a lot of people, I'm assuming that with fear, sorry, I have a dog who's being a jerk. Fear allows us not to listen to our intuition. Is that a correct assumption?
Yes. And so fear, I like to think of it as our human brain, right? So fear is our human brain and intuition is our soul brain. So you can kind of split the two brains.
Okay.
So the human brain, let's call it fear, is trying to keep us safe, right? When you think of, eons ago or even animals in the woods, fear serves a purpose. It is to keep you safe,
Right.
keep you alive, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
You fight or you flight, but it's to protect you. And so our human brain does that. And then our soul's brain is the part of our being that is our purpose, why we are here, what is our soul needing from being in this lifetime.
Okay.
And so those two brains are often at odds because one requires risk, it requires intuition, it requires letting go.
Right.
And those are all
Terrifying.
can be terrifying and uncomfortable, right?
Yep.
And then there's the human side of our brain, fear, saying, stay in that crappy job because it's safe. You know how much you make every year. You know it pays your bills. You know that you have a family of 5 you need to feed. So it doesn't matter that you hate your life for 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
Stay there, right? So it can be pretty uncomfortable over here too, but there's a familiarity. There's a comfort in knowing I'm safe. I'm okay. I'm not going to die if I stay here.
Right. Well,
right? So those two.
physically, but emotionally, right? Like emotionally, you very well could.
Absolutely. And when we don't listen to this, when we ignore it, the universe, she starts here. She tries to nudge, she tries to push, she tries to get us on our path, right? And we know those things when we go, oh, I would just love to own a salon.
Right.
I personally would not, right? But, oh, I could never. No,
right.
I just, but I would just, that would be my thing, right? That's this. That's that dream. That's that risk. That's that letting go. Whereas safety brain over here is going, don't you dare.
Yeah.
Don't you dare.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But if you hate your job, the universe is going to, if it's not good for you, if it's not serving you, slowly, and then not so slowly and not so carefully, she's going to slap you.
Right.
You might get in a car accident. You might break your back. You might be on crutches. You might whatever, so that you literally can't do this job.
Right. So that you have to change.
And that you are forced out of this terrible toxic fear-based living. And it may not mean that you go buy a salon and, do hair for the rest of your life, but she's trying to get you there. But so when we ignore the universe, when we ignore our soul's calling, right, we feel out of balance. We feel out of alignment. We feel uncomfortable and just slogging through life, right? And that's what fear is. Fear is what holds us from being in a divine state every day.
Okay, but on the flip side, we need fear for some aspects to keep us safe. I think, I don't know,
yeah. So fear has a purpose.
Right.
So if you were a deer in the woods, it would make sense that you are fearful of hunters. So when something crackles, you run.
Right. Yeah.
So that's natural. So if somebody walks into your house with a gun, you should be fearful.
So we're not saying get rid of fear completely.
No, but fear that is not serving you. So actual fear, right? So fear of Fear of the unknown, that's just your fear brain,
Right.
right? That's not fear that's saving your life.
Okay.
If you're walking down a dark alley and you know that this is a section of the city that, you know, there's 4 murders a night,
Yeah.
you should be fearful. That is serving you,
Right. Okay.
right? But if you're walking in the woods and you need to carry a knife with you because you're afraid that somebody might jump out, that's not fear that's serving you,
Right.
right? So there is times when fear is necessary. It keeps us alive. But
Right.
fear of moving into your purpose or moving into joy or moving into what feels right for you
Mhm.
to
I
stay
guess a lot of it would be fear of failure. Like it's the fear of failure that is the big one that you want to kind of try and get rid of, because failing needs to happen, for one, in order to differentiate between what is going to serve you and what isn't. But also fear, when we fear failure, we fear forward motion completely, I
Mhm.
think. So I guess if people are trying to figure out how to differentiate between which fears are good and which fears are bad, you have to really kind of soul search as far as if it's serving you to be afraid of something.
Sure. The biggest thing is, could this lead to my death?
Right.
That is fear. That then it's probably a legitimate, unless it's a phobia kind of thing, but like probably a fairly legitimate fear, right? But fear of failure can have its roots in so many things. But the ultimate thing that it's connected to is death. So fear of failure often is fear of failure because that will mean disapproval. Disapproval will mean that I am eradicated, like I am or excluded from the pack. If I'm excluded from the pack, I will
Sorry.
That's okay, right? So if you go back to that evolutionary standpoint, that psychological view of
Right.
fear of failure actually is, what if my parents disapprove? What if my friends disapprove? What if everybody in the world disapproves of me quitting my job?
Yeah.
Right?
No,
That
I approve of me quitting my job.
yeah. Right? And so that means I'm, what if I get excluded? And if I get excluded, then I'm alone, I'm isolated. And in an evolutionary standpoint, being alone means you will be hunted and killed, right? Like you will die, or you will not find a means of food or whatever. So that fear of failure is not just fear of failure. It goes back to, this could kill me. I may die if I do this, right? So overcoming that is bigger than just a fear of failure.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we afraid to fail? That's why.
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, nobody likes to feel like they're letting people down, right? And that's where, the mom aspect goes, is that we'll do everything for everyone else, but the person we're letting down is us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we're the most forgiving, non-forgiving creatures on the
Mm-hmm.
earth, I think.
I agree, but it's also, we are more comfortable standing. That's the fear brain.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to pick me.
Yeah.
What if I let my family down?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? I'm afraid to step out of this uncomfortable situation because, who am I letting down? I'm choosing me.
Right.
Who am I? Right? Like, I picked these kids, so I must choose this fear-based life too, of never stepping into who I am.
Yeah, because I picked this life, so therefore I have to kind of suffer the consequences. But the thing I learned the most was you can actually have both. And as soon as I started communicating, so I've got sun in my eyes and I'm not quite sure where it came from, which I'm happy that there's sun, but there we go. So when I started communicating how I was feeling and what I needed,
mm-hmm.
I felt better,
mm-hmm.
because I was saying, you know what? No, right now it's my turn. And the joke is that we make fun of, like, in this house, it's always somebody's turn. There's never not somebody's turn. But for the most part, we're pretty good at making sure that it's not two at a time.
Yeah, balance, baby, balance.
Just hold off on your breakdown because, like, this person's not done yet, and we need to. But in all reality, I think the best thing is when I broke down and I said, like, this is what I need, and I need to come first. It showed that they could then realize that they need it. So it did serve a purpose in the grand scheme of things.
And the best part of this, Jen, that I think is we give up, we sacrifice, we everything for our kids. But that's what we're teaching them, is that they then must do that when they become adults. Yeah. No, we want them to step into their purpose. We want them to be vulnerable and authentic and true. And yet we're living this comfortable, fake, fear-based life. Yeah. They watch us. They sometimes hear me, but mostly they watch me. Yeah. So if I can't step into my purpose, if I can't fail, if I can't totally, excuse my language, but shit the bed, if I can't do that and come back from it, they are never ever going to see it.
Exactly.
Let alone feel safe to do it.
Exactly.
Right? The most beautiful thing that I think is the young women and little Lex in your house, they are seeing.
Yeah.
This, I can fall apart. I can screw up. And you know what? I'm still worthy. I'm still good. And I still can kick ass at life. Right. Exactly. Because mom can.
Exactly. Well, and that's the thing, right? And I noticed that a lot of the times, like, when someone does, they're like, well, yeah, I can. But at the same time, it's still a lot of pressure because then they, like, the biggest thing I teach here is everybody's different and everybody needs different things. Like, Lex is still learning what she needs. We're knocking things off the block, right? Like, no, screaming and throwing things probably isn't the best idea. I get that you're angry, but now you're wrecking my shit.
Yeah.
Right. So, but a lot of it is learning. And I try for them, like we joke all the time about my fails, right? Like, if I'm trying something new and it's a total fail, I'm like, yeah, well, now we know it doesn't equal C, and that's okay. And I can only hope that they're seeing that in their day-to-day life, right?
Yeah. And you won't know that they feel it, see it, know it until they're in that place and you go, oh, they know. Right? They're not in that moment of seeing you do that. You're not thinking, oh, I'm teaching them a good lesson. They're going to get this. But they internalize that.
Yeah.
And
the best thing I can do is, as I say, like, you know what? No, today, because it was just the other day, I was very snippy and I was just snarky with everybody. And Lex so when that happens, she's like an amoeba. She just attaches because she wants to make you feel better and she wants to. So then all you want to really have is be left alone so that you can get out of your foul mood and move forward with your day. And she just keeps coming because she wants to help, and that's just her, and it's amazing. But
she's trying to give you her energy.
Yeah. So
what she's trying to do.
The best thing I've learned to do is say, you know what? I need some time out because I'm frustrated and I don't know why I'm frustrated. I'm just cranky, and I don't mean to snap at you. I don't mean to not take the time to pay attention to you, but right now I need some me time in order to get my head screwed on straight. And usually she'll be like, oh, okay. But before I would just be snappy.
Yeah.
And then
that
more.
Yeah. That fear brain, right? Of like, if I choose me, right? If I choose me over here where my soul needs me to be, what if my family falls apart? Well, they're fine. They'll be okay. You have cereal in your cupboard.
Not my problem. That's
right. There's food in the fridge. Sort it out. You know where the remote is. I don't know. Right. So it's a lot of stepping out of that fear place is just being okay, getting uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
And allowing your intuition, and that you'll know it's your intuition when it lights you up.
Right.
So you needed Jen time. You needed some time alone. So you were in a place that was not lighting you up.
Yeah.
And you get there and you knew the cross of that bridge was alone time.
Yeah.
So going across that bridge and getting to that place,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's just, it's, yeah, a lot of it is fear for a lot of people is releasing that fear of letting others down.
Absolutely.
Maybe that's what we need to challenge everybody is to do something this month that you have previously said no to based on fear, whether that's something simple like some people won't wear tights because they fear what they look like. They're so comfortable and they know they're comfortable, but they won't wear them out in public. So go wear
and
them.
that is a fear of other people's judgments, right?
Right.
A fear of exclusion, fear of, what if they don't like me because I wear tights kind of thing, right?
Or whether you take one full day and just say, I'm out and I'm going to hang with one of my best friends and I'm going to have coffee and I will get home when I get home and figure out supper. Or you can do something bigger, maybe go and apply for that job that you don't think that you deserve, or look into schooling, or what other things could they?
I think the biggest thing that I love all your suggestions, and I think those are the perfect starting point. What I tuned in on there was don't replace fear with guilt.
Yeah.
So apply for that job and then be good with it.
Yeah.
Know that you're worthy. Know that fuck this, I'm doing it, right?
Yeah.
And not go, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, right. If you're going for coffee, enjoy it. Take the break. Enjoy it.
Be in the moment.
Don't think, oh, I'm so selfish. I shouldn't be here. Oh my God, you know what? My husband's picking up the kids instead of me, and I always do it. And what are they gonna? Well, let that go. Let the dialogue go, and just whatever you choose. Go for coffee. Go for lunch. Take a night. Drink your wine. Like, do you? But do it unapologetically.
Yeah, and do it.
Don't replace. Yeah, do not replace the fear with guilt, because we do a real good job of that.
Oh yeah, we don't need any extra help for the guilt, I don't think, but that's a whole other segment, I think.
But I noticed, Jen, you do an incredible job of that. I'm doing this, and I'm doing it without the guilt.
Well, I'm not going to lie, the guilt is definitely is there.
Yeah.
But I'm learning that the higher purpose is I need to do this in order to be there for the future.
So that's part of it, right? Is recognizing the guilt and going, no, I'm circling back and choosing me, choosing my soul, choosing my intuition.
Yeah. Like nobody ever died from eating cereal for supper in 3 days in a row. Right?
No.
So there you go. Cereal. Have it.
Exactly. And if you don't want cereal,
I don't care.
I don't know what it is, but there's other stuff in that cupboard.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. All right. So then we do have a couple of really amazing things lined up. We just haven't been able to secure what's going on with them. So when we do, we will share them with all of you lovely people. Yeah, and I guess until next time, you can go online and book with Ashley, soulpurposereiki.com. And it's kind of handy because you don't even have to talk to her. Like, not that we don't want to, but I know for me, the bouncing back and forth sometimes. So now I can just go online and book it. And I usually will let her know that it's me, and we figure out if that time slot will work or not and go from there. So, and if you just need a spiritual enema, that's usually the place to go.
I was just telling somebody today, Jen, that that's what you call it, is a spiritual enema. But yes, or you can check Jen out at Just One Crazy Mama. She's on Facebook, but you'll catch both of us on each other's Facebook page. So yeah, check us out if you want.
Okay. Until next time.
Bye.